G'day, my name's Brett Hooker and my channel is I Love Dirt. Today I've got a video for you heading into a place called the Dig Tree, and it's in far southwest Queensland, and it's made famous because of an explorer activity that happened back in the 1800s, where a group of men led by Bourke and Wills sought to travel across the continent and find the Gulf at the top of Australia, and they left from down in Melbourne and they headed up through Australia and they made it up to the Gulf, but they didn't quite make it home, and Bourke and Wills passed away, but others in their party survived. There was a return party waiting for them at this place called the Dig Tree, and it's a place you can still visit today. This video I'm going to show you the road into the Dig Tree. So you'll turn off the Inaminka Road. You'll see here I'm turning right. So you turn off the Inaminka Road. I was heading west there. So you'll turn off the Inaminka Road and onto Arabury Road, and that's a story for another day. But then you'll turn left onto the Dig Tree Road. And then this Dig Tree Road, it's a dirt road. It's about 14 kilometres, and I thought I'd take a video of it for you, so that if you're ever thinking about doing this drive out here, that you've got a good idea of what the road out to the Dig Tree looks like. So 14-kilometre dirt road, and you can get here a couple of different ways. This is only 50 kilometres from Inaminka, so if you're already in South Australia, if you're already travelling through the Outback, it's only 50 kilometres to get to the start of this road from Inaminka, so you can come from South Australia over into Queensland and get onto this road. You can also get here from coming down from the north, so you might come down from Quilpie and Eromanga and head in here. So there's a couple of ways to get here. If you're coming from Southeast Queensland, so I live in Brisbane. If you're coming from Brisbane, then you'll head west of Brisbane. It's about you'll do it in 2 nights. But a common trip that I do here is that I'll actually do a day trip out to the Nindigully pub, which is a historic pub in Queensland, south of St George. Great little place to stop. Free camping out the back. You grab a meal at the pub, have a shower at the pub. They've got fantastic burgers there. That's another story. But you drive through to Nindigully, stay there for the night, and then on your second day, drive through to Thargomindah. And you can camp there. I like to camp at the Explorers Caravan Park there at Thargomindah. Again, great. They have fantastic showers, and there's a lot of good amenities in Thargomindah. It's a decent little town in the Outback. You can get your fuel. There is a pub, there's a roadhouse there, they serve food as well. Fantastic, definitely go see the visitor centre. They've got fantastic facilities set up in Thargomindah for you to look around the area, have a look at the historic jail, have a look at the river there. Absolutely a lot of history in Thargomindah, so highly recommend it. And if you get the chance, grab a coffee from the visitor centre there. They've got a cafe in the visitor centre that opens nice and early, and they do fantastic coffee. So second day, I'll get you through to Thargomindah. Then you'll wake up on the morning of your third day. And it's about 330 kilometres west of Thargomindah to get to the Dig Tree. And you can do that drive in about 4 hours. So it brings you through to here.
If you're enjoying the content we're producing on the I Love Dirt channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the like button to let other people know what we're doing and for you to stay up to date with the content we're producing.
The Dig Tree itself is a small area on a much larger property out here called the Nappa Merrie station. And the folks that own Nappa Merrie have made the Dig Tree, the historic Dig Tree area, available to the Royal Historical Society of Queensland. So the Royal Historical Society looks after the Dig Tree area. And over the last couple of years, they've been doing a lot of work to make it easier for you to understand what happened there in the history. They've really improved the walkways around the Dig Tree, and there's another tree there called the Face Tree. So the Royal Historical Society of Queensland looks after the Dig Tree area, but you need to know that you're driving through Nappa Merrie Station. So this road is driving across Nappa Merrie Station. So you're out here you're out here in the Channel Country. This is well and truly out in the Channel Country. Cooper Creek flows around this area. In fact, the dig tree is actually on the Cooper Creek. So that return party that was waiting for Bourke and Wills and King to come back from their expedition had good water. They were in a good area. There's nice trees around that area because they had the Cooper Creek right there. So Cooper Creek, it's a very large water system. It is the heart of the Channel Country. If you want to know more about Cooper Creek and some of the other areas around, have a look at some of my other videos, but there's lots of videos on YouTube around Cooper Creek and the Channel Country in southwest Queensland. But as you can see here, it's a cut dirt road that runs through the property. You're basically on the border of the Strzelecki National Park, the Strzelecki Desert here, but also Sturt Stony Desert. And you'll notice a lot of the surface here is that gibber style rock, which is really famous in the outback, but particularly in the Sturt Stony Desert. So you see there's a lot of flat plain here and gibber rock. So a reasonably good quality dirt road has been cut through here. The quality of this road changes based on how deep into the season you are. They do grade it from time to time, so you might get out there in a time where the road's been graded quite smoothly. But we do get a lot of visitors out this way. So sometimes you might get out here and you might just see it in the video of this one. There's a fair few corrugations on this road when I headed out this time. So if you get out there and you find that there is a lot of corrugation and it's starting to shake your vehicle, a couple of tips there. Pull over and let your tyres down a little bit more. You might take your tyres down to 30 PSI or even 25 PSI. Probably don't need to drop much below that. But as you drop the pressure out of your tyres, you let your tyres act like a part of your suspension system, and it just makes them a little bit softer. So it makes it a little bit easy to absorb the corrugations. But by letting your tyres down, it also increases the contact patch of your tyres. So you've actually got more of your tyre gripping onto this surface, makes it a little bit safer to drive. You probably reduce your speed a little bit too. Once you lower your tyre pressures like that, you might drop your speed down to, 60, 70, something like that. Now, part of the trick of driving on corrugations, though, is that you really want to drive across the top of those corrugations and get your tyres running across the top. If you go too slow on corrugations, you're just going to shake yourself and your car to pieces. So just bring your speed up, safely, of course. Don't do anything that you feel uncomfortable with, but bring your speed up and get your vehicle sort of driving or flowing across the top of the corrugations. So you see here, so we've been just driving across the plains here, but just at this point, you'll see that I'm actually passing some vehicles. And some more tips here in regards to passing technique is that you see I pulled right over to the side of the road there. There's a lot of rock. There's a lot of rock on the surface here. And if you go flying past cars coming the other way at 40, 50, 60 kilometers an hour, there's a chance you're going to have some rocks. You might throw some rocks up and it might hit their windscreen. Vice versa, they may do the same to you. So when I'm in the outback, I slow right down, pull right over. Sometimes I might go to a dead stop. I may actually pull right off the road and go to a dead stop. They slowed down, so I could see they were doing the right thing as well. So I just slowed down to match them, pulled right over, and really reduced the risk of getting a rock strike on my windscreen there. So as you see, as we're driving along here, you've got a little map here that you can see what's going on. But what's happening here as we're driving down the Dig Tree Road, we're going through all these little tributaries of the Channel Country. So you'll see at the moment, as I go through those, they're dry. And this particular day that I was out there, the Dig Tree is actually, the Cooper Creek is actually flooded. I've got a separate video there where I pop up the drone and show you just how high the Cooper Creek is. But Cooper Creek was flooding, and also the Inaminka Road heading over to this area was also flooded with water over it in various areas. But in this particular area, the channels were actually dry. But those little creek crossings you see me going through, they're all just part of the Channel Country of southwest Queensland. So anyway, this part of the drive, very consistent in terms of that, they've cut a dirt road through the area. You're probably going to have corrugations there, so drive to the conditions. As you get closer to the Dig Tree, then the terrain changes a little bit because you're getting really close to really close to Cooper Creek. So some of the things you might like to know about this area out here, you can actually camp at the Dig Tree. In 2022, it's $20 a vehicle. So you might have a couple of people in your car, but it's $20 to camp there. So be aware of that. But you can camp right on the Cooper Creek. They have toilet facilities there. They've got some drop toilets there, so they do have bathrooms available. They don't have showers, so if you're going to camp out at the Dig Tree and you want to have a shower, you might want to bring along some sort of portable shower facility for yourselves. And there's no other facilities out there, so there's no fuel and there's no shops or anything at the Dig Tree. If you need those resources, then you just drive around to Inaminka. As I said, it's about, from the Dig Tree itself, it's actually about 70 kilometres back around to Inaminka on the shortest route. So so you can definitely camp at the Dig Tree. If you're just visiting, they also like you to pay the $20. That helps the Royal Society, the Royal Historical Society, keep up the maintenance in the area. You know, this area is like 1,400 odd kilometres, something like that, 1,300, 1,400 kilometres away from Brisbane. So it certainly costs a bit to maintain the area out here. So they do have a visitors fee. So what you can see is happening here in the drive is that there's actually a side road they've cut in. Cooper Creek's just to the left of the view here, and Cooper Creek is flooding. So the normal road that went straight ahead, you can't use. It was actually probably about, I would have said about 1.5 meters deep there. So that's the Cooper Creek flood. So you can't cross there. So they've got this side track. So on this occasion, probably added about an extra 2 kilometres to the journey, but this is fantastic. You know, it's still totally traversable. If you've got a normal four-wheel drive clearance, you can make it through this no problem at all. So this is nice. It's just sort of heading through the mulga here, so you can see some of the bushy type trees here. Still going through channel type creek crossings here, and it just makes its way around the outside. So just as we sort of travel through this area, so you can camp at the Dig Tree, or if you prefer, you can camp back at Inaminka. You can camp at the Inaminka Town Common. I think it's $10 a vehicle a night in there. And there's a whole bunch of campsites around the Inaminka area, such as the Kalyamurra waterhole. Those ones you book through national parks or at the roadhouse there at Inaminka. But there's a whole bunch of campsites around the Inaminka area that you can camp at as well. So you might do a day trip out here to check out the Dig Tree, or you can camp here. But I've camped here. I can highly recommend it. Absolutely fantastic. Set up a nice big campfire and really enjoy the big sky of the area out here, because you are literally hundreds of kilometres away from anything that might create light pollution. So definitely worth staying out here. The Historical Society of Queensland's done a good job. There's actually a little building that they've built just as you drive through the gate into the area. They've got a whole bunch of signboards in there that explains the history behind the Bourke and Wills expedition. So you can read through those and really understand what happened. There's some pretty incredible stories there, both in terms of the expedition party, but also the traditional owners out in this area. They had a lot to offer for the Bourke and Wills team, and the backstory on that's very intriguing. So part of it's very sad, but it's also very informative in terms of how the locals in this area really knew how to make the most of the land, and we're happy to share that with those who wanted to work with them. So definitely worth having a read of those. And then once you've looked at that area, then you actually drive down. In terms of paying your $20 fee, you can actually do it online. So usually when we head out this way, we take the time to pay it online ahead of time, print out the little receipt, have it in the vehicle. Makes it much quicker for getting into the area. If you haven't paid online, you can actually stop at the gate though. They've got a little sign-in book and some little envelopes, and you can put your $20 in an envelope, and they have a little honesty box there that you can drop your fee into. So you can just see I've just passed a few others coming out of the out of the dig tree there. So again, passing technique out in the outback when you're on these dirt roads, you slow right down, give them some room, make sure that you're not throwing rocks around. So yeah, so you can pay your fee at the gate, or you can pay it online ahead of time. So now we're out in sort of the floodplain area around Cooper Creek. It doesn't get up on these areas very often, but it can do in the really rainy areas. Right here, we're just merging back onto the normal track. So so this is so we've finished the bypass road, and you can see that on my little map on the top left-hand side of the screen. You can see that little sort of side route that they had us follow. So now we're sort of coming to the end of the drive. So as you can see, this drive's totally fine as long as you've got your four-wheel drive vehicle. You can make this in. There's nothing crazy. There's nothing crazy on this road. So we'll come into the main area here. There's actually a little airstrip for the property just beside. So when you come in here, you actually see a little outback runway to the right-hand side, and then you head into the main gate area. It was really interesting to see the area out here this year. So this particular video is taken in 2022, and if you have a look around, you see the trees are quite green, but there's actually quite a bit of green around on the ground. Clearly, it's an outback property, and there's still plenty of dirt and brown out there, but there's plenty of green on the property. And we've actually had 3 years of rain out here now, so it's actually been pretty healthy for this area of the outback. So a lot of green on the ground. This particular year, 2022, after 2020 and 2021 delivering a lot of rain and then a lot of water through the area, they've had actually continuous short spurts of outback rain this year. So they'll get a storm come through for an afternoon or a day, and then move on. But that's happened every couple of weeks. And I was out here in July, and there was this continuous rain sort of kept coming over time. So the area's had a lot of water in there. So you can see there's a lot of green, and hence that's why the Cooper Creek was up and flooding. And subsequent to this drive in, it's continued to have rain every couple of weeks. So it's a really different year this year that we're out here. I've got another video where I show where I did put the drone up and showed the flooding of the Cooper Creek. And in that video, I've got some footage from back in 2018 when we were still in a very long drought. It was almost a 10-year drought. And the difference is there's none of this green, it's just brown. The trees are still holding on because they're able to tap into water, but the whole area is very brown. So we've arrived here. So we've traveled the road now. We've traveled the road in. This is the gate. In this case, the party in front of me were paying on the day, so they had to stop and fill out the welcome book and put their $20 in. There's no way on this particular occasion. There was no way for me to get around it. There's just that one gate there, so I just chilled out, just relaxed, let them fill out their paperwork and drop their money in. But once they head through, you'll see I just drive straight through because I'd paid mine online, so I was good to go straight through. And just to the right there, that's the little building with the information in it. That's definitely worth stopping at when you come in because there's a heap of useful information there. If you don't get a chance to read it all, then head on down to the dig tree, check out the dig tree, check out the face tree, check out Cooper Creek, all that beautiful area, and then walk back up the hill. It's only a couple of 100 meters back up the hill. You can walk back up the hill and take a bit more time to read it. The toilets for the dig tree are also in another building just beside that. So if you're looking for the bathrooms here, it's back up there at the gate. So you come down here, you come down the hill here. It's just a slight hill. You come down the hill, and then this area here, I'd say it's probably at least a kilometre of camping along the dig tree here. I'll just point it out as we go around here, but I'm just going to do a little bit of a U-turn here. So the dig tree is just over to the right. All the camping is straight ahead and to the left. So that's the drive in. So you see it's eminently easy to drive in. It's definitely worth doing if you're out in Western Queensland. Definitely take the time to come out here and check out the dig tree. The dig tree's straight ahead of us there. As we come around there, the dig tree straight ahead there. If you want to see more about that, check out my other videos or some of the other videos on YouTube about it. Cheers, everyone. Have a great day.